In this video, we'll take a look at how to compute the interest and the principal payments for a set of monthly payments that you have to make for a mortgage. So let's say you have a mortgage amount of 300,000 that you're planning to borrow, and like every typical mortgage, there are some points to be paid. This is the amount that you pay to the lender before you receive money, and there's a quoted interest rate of 5% per year, and you need to repay this over a 15-year period. Now, the monthly payment is this amount here, $2,372.38, which is your before the quoted interest by 12, because the quoted interest is an yearly interest rate and you wish to compute the monthly payment. So you have to divide 5% by 12, and your number of periods is B5 times 12. B5 is 15 years, but you're paying it over a monthly period. So you need to multiply 15 times 12, and B2 is the principal amount, which is $300,000, and this zero represents the fact that at the end of your repayment period you will have $0 outstanding. That means you will repay the entire mortgage, and this final zero here indicates that you will make your payments at the end of each month. Given that you're paying out this $2,372.38 every month, and you can see that it's a fixed payment every month all the way till your 188th month, which is your 15th year. What is the interest component of this amount, and what is the principal component of this amount? So now every time you pay this $2,372.38, part of this is going towards your interest payment, which is the interest on the outstanding balance, whatever is the remaining balance that you have, and the remaining is your principal. So how do you compute that? We can do that using the IPMT and PPMT functions. So let's get started. IPMT, and I'm just going to open this insert function here. The interest rate is your quoted interest rate divided by 12. The PER or period refers to the first period here, that is month number 1. The NPER refers to the total term of your mortgage, that is the number of years over which you will repay it, times 12, because you want to do this on a monthly basis. And the present value is the amount that you're borrowing initially, and the future value is 0. And we just need to make one small change here. We just need to make sure these are all in dollar sign. So what I'm doing is I'm just pressing the F4 button here, and B4 then becomes $B $4. Period B11 should not have any dollar sign. Number of periods should have $B $5, and the present value should have $B $2. And the reason for that is because we wish to copy this formula all the way down, and we don't want to type it again and again. And if you click OK, now you can just double click on this, and you will see that it'll compute the interest payments all the way till your 188th payment or the 15th year. Just so that we can see this a little better, I'm going to freeze this here. So we'll freeze it now, and I'm going to take my cursor to the C10 cell, and I will now go to View, Freeze Panes, and Freeze. And when you do that, you can see that you'll always see the headings and the numbers on the side. And now we'll compute the principal payment equals PPMT, and again I press this function here. The rate is your quoted interest rate divided by 12. The period is number 1, that is B11 here. Number of periods is 15 times 12. Present value is B2, 300,000, and future value is 0. And as before, I will need to make this as $B $4, $B $5, and $B $2. And to do that, I press the F4 button on your computer and press OK. And this here is your principal payment, and you can verify that the principal payment plus the interest payment is exactly identical to monthly payment that you need to make out on a monthly basis. And I'm just going to double click this, and you can double click this as well if you want. just for verification. Make sure that the sum is always the same. So every month, say on the 10th month after you borrowed your mortgage, you're paying out $2,372.38, of which the interest is $1,207.20 and the principal is $1,165.18. Now you can observe that as you keep going further down, the interest keeps reducing and the principal keeps increasing. That means you're paying out a higher and higher component of the total principal amount that you borrowed, and you're paying lower and lower interest, which is the cost of the money that you borrowed. So that at the very end, you'll see that there's only $9 of interest and there's $2,362 of principal, and finally everything is repaid. And you don't need this, actually. This is just for your confirmation that you're doing the right thing. So we can delete this. So that's how you make use of the IPMT and PPMT functions to compute the interest payment and the principal payment for a set of fixed monthly payments, such as your home mortgage. I hope you liked it, and thanks for watching.